Hi, I'm Nikki and I am a homemaker. Welcome to my channel. So on today's video, I made a delicious crock-pot recipe, beef stew. I've been wanting to make this for a while, guys. It is so delicious. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, don't forget to hit it, you guys. I really do appreciate it. And if you are interested in this video, stick around and ingredients are listed down below. Chop up your chuck roast to the size of your liking. Okay, so this dry mix recipe with the flour, paprika, and pepper, I had to do this 3 times so that all the chuck roast that I used would be coated on all sides. So you do little by little. I believe it took me 3 to 4 times of doing this because you don't just add all of it in a bag. You're going to add little by little to make sure that every single piece gets covered in this mixture. Now ideally you want to use a big Ziploc bag. I was all out and I wasn't going to let that stop me from making this because it was going to be a very cold day for the Monday morning, and I was like, I want there to be a hot stew ready for my husband so that he could take to lunch for work. So I was like, I'm gonna do this, and it doesn't matter if I have to use a grocery bag. If you're grossed out, I'm sorry, use your Ziploc bag. So I have the pan on a medium heat with I had about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm making sure that they're spread out and that they're gonna get browned on each side. So it's a process. Like I said, I had 3 to 4 batches of having to do this and having to make the flour mixture and making sure that it was going to get cooked on each side. So this part did take me roughly about, I want to say 15-20 minutes with preparation of the flour mixture and then just browning it. And I would brown it on a medium to high heat. It depends on what type of stove you have. I have an electric stove, so it takes a little longer for it to really heat up. But anyways, I was letting them brown for anywhere 1 to 2, maybe 3 minutes, depending how hot the stove was at that time. So that's all you see me doing, is just turning it and browning it, and that's the name of the game. Next to me, I do have the Crock-Pot. So when these are done, I am just transferring them over to the Crock-Pot, and you'll see that done here in just a minute. But I just wanted to let you know so you can have it ready. And yeah, browning and transferring and repeating till you're done with all the batches. Okay, these are looking nice and brown. I have my Crock-Pot right next to me, and I'm going to throw these bad boys in there. And then I'm going to continue with the next 2 batches of these meat chunks. Okay, quick recap. I have done about 3 batches of meat with flour because you're doing them in portions so that they get cooked evenly and get flour on them nicely. And I've had to do the 1/4 cup, the 1/4 cup of flour, the paprika, the 1 teaspoon, and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. I've had to do that 3 times to make sure all of these are going to get coated nicely. And I am transferring that to the Crock-Pot that's right next to them. That's a lot of meat, huh? Oh yeah. Now we want to get the residue from here, so I'm going to put 1/2 cup of red wine. Some broth. All that flavor off the pan, and then we're going to dump it into the Crock-Pot. You can go ahead and turn off your stove. And I am putting the rest of the beef. I'm putting the rest of the beef broth. There we go. 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but anyways, 2 teaspoons of it. Yeah, mixing that around. And I'm going to put this on a low heat for 2 hours. But I'm going to get my veggies cut up and ready. Okay, after you've cleaned up your celery and shaved off your carrots, it's time to cut them up. These celery stalks were really little and I'm used to them being bigger, so I ended up doing like 3 more. So all in all, I did about 7 to 8 of these skinny celery stalks. I did frozen peas, and I ended up getting another carrot after this because I ended up using more meat than recommended and it was too meaty, so I just had to add some more veggies in there. And besides these veggies, of course, I did potatoes. So this is all the little extras that I am putting in my beef stew. Okay, time to start putting the veggies in there. It smells so good. Now it's up to you when you want to add the veggies. I had the meat going for 2 hours on the low heat, and then I decided to add the veggies because I like a little crunch in them. But if you want to add them from the very beginning, go ahead. It's whatever you like. This is also the time that I added the potatoes and the peas. Now next time for sure I'm going to add the peas about an hour before the stew is ready because they were really good. The stew was actually really good, but I don't know, I think I'm just going to wait just an hour before. I'm going to try that next time. I haven't done that before, but I really want to try it because I love peas and I love to have like that little crunch, you know. But if you don't mind that, well then just add it whenever you like. Now, if you cook this stew on a low heat, it could take 7 to 8 hours. I did this overnight, so I was asleep through the rest of the process. I just let it cook and do its thing in the crock pot. So it was about 7 to 8 hours later whenever I woke up and I did this last final step. But if you're cooking it on a high heat, then it could take, 6 hours. It just depends on what temperature you are cooking it at. But this recipe is for a low heat at 7 to 8 hours. Now if you're wanting a thick stew, you can add some cornstarch. I did 2 tablespoons. I got some of the broth from the stew, mixed it in there, turned it up until it got like a thick pastiness. You'll see it here in a bit. And I dumped it in there and just ran my spoon in there, mixed it all around and let it sit for another 20 minutes. And then I turned off the crock pot, or you could just leave it on warm. And the broth really did thicken up. It just depends, if you want it thick or not. But I really loved it like this. So just a suggestion if that's what you would prefer. Just mix it in there. And then it will thicken up about 15-20 more minutes. And it is done. I mean, it's already done, but you want to wait a little longer just for that cornstarch to kick in and make the broth thinner. And here it is, all ready. You guys, this was so delicious. This was actually my first time making it. I've been wanting to make it for a while, and it was such a cold day. I would suggest eating this with some cornbread. When I was eating it, I was craving cornbread. I don't know, just an idea. Next time, I'll do that though. I really love this though. Everyone tore it up. People came, I posted it on Facebook, and people came to eat some and they loved it. So I was like, I will be posting a video and the ingredients will be listed in the description because they want to make it. So I was so proud of this dish. You guys, I hope you try it and I hope it blesses you and your family. And like I've said before, if you haven't done so, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next video.